All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro. Glad you could join us. Jamieson Welsh from Drive Time Sports is our in-studio guest. He is our hoops guru. Talk a little UNLV hoops. We'll see how the season plays out, but I think we're going to be talking about a new coach in a month. But again, time will tell. If he has a miracle and does something crazy in the Mountain West Conference tournament, you never know. But I'm going to say 99% at this point. Wow. 99% based on the inside information that I have. They are already looking for a head coach.
99.
Based on some sources that I have, they are telling me that Francois is already looking for a new head coach. She has started the process. And when you look at what is she thinking? If you are the athletic director at UNLV and you walk into the Thomas and Mack Center yesterday at tip-off and you see all those open seats, what are you thinking? What mess did I get myself into? What am I going to do about this? I mean, what can you do?
Especially when you're a basketball school.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. It's not like they're a football. They're a basketball school. They need revenue from this sport for the budget, and they're not getting it. And also, again, when the chairs aren't even folded down, that's when you know it's a problem.
First row.
Yeah, yeah. The ones you see on television are folded up.
It's one thing if the chairs are folded up in the second level, but when they're folded up front row,
problem.
That is a huge issue. So obviously we're going to continue to monitor this. Any breaking news that we have, we will share it with you. I'm not saying that they're going to fire him mid-season. It's not going to happen.
No.
That's absolutely not going to happen.
There's no need to.
But I'm going to tell you right now, man, Jamieson, I would be absolutely shocked beyond belief if he is our coach in 90 days or 60 days or whenever. So
fair enough.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. I will also be shocked if Mr. Luke Walton next year is the Lakers head coach. And I'm not saying they're going to fire him mid-season, but what is going on? I mean, first of all, I see LeBron. You know, somebody made a good point to me the other day and said, you know, you look at these biggest stars that ever played in the league, would they be willing to just get rid of 5 or 6 of their players? LeBron was willing to do that a few weeks ago.
Last week.
What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, it's a star league. If you have a chance to get Anthony Davis, you go get Anthony Davis. Especially with the way the buyout is, the buyout season where you have a lot of guys that got traded or getting released because they're in last year of a contract and teams are trying to go younger. You do it because you only have a few chances to get star transcendent players. Anthony Davis is 25 years old. He'll be 26 next month. The best part of his career is coming up. If you can get that guy for the next 6 years, 7 years, you're good. That you have to do it. All the guys they were put in the package are somewhat replaceable. Mm-hmm. Anthony Davis isn't. Like, when the Pelicans lose Anthony Davis, their franchise is on the clock to move.
I'm watching LeBron James play D, and obviously when he's in the playoffs and when it's games that he actually truly, really wants to win, you see him play some good, solid defense. But I'm watching him play in some of these regular season games ever since he came back. And he's got guys that are, defending some guys, for example, that are, can make a 15-foot, 17-foot jumper. And he's in the paint. And he's being criticized for that. Is that fair criticism?
For the Ben Simmons, no, because Ben Simmons can't shoot. But LeBron hasn't played defense in like 4 years. Like, I think people don't realize this is nothing new. Like, this is nothing that just all of a sudden happened after he got it. No, LeBron has not played quality defense in a while. Even if you watch some of those old Warriors Cavs finals, you'll see LeBron was lacking in the picture a lot of those times, especially in the second half of games. He wasn't in the picture. He wasn't. He's an older guy. The thing is, older players don't play defense. Whether you're in the NBA, rec league, wherever you're at, you're not playing defense. Once you pass a certain age, unless it's like you mentioned the playoffs earlier or the conference finals, you're really not playing a whole lot of defense. That's just how it goes.
You agree, JD? I know you're a big LeBron guy. I am not. I don't even think he's going to end up being a top 5 player when it's all said and done.
I think when he wants to play defense, he's very capable. And there's a lot of videos where he has those long run down, come from behind blocks. You've seen those where he's made some major defensive plays. Now, I will say this. This is a college basketball question. Just switching really quick because I'm thinking about it. But that block that Zion Williamson made, was that the best block you've ever seen in your life?
No, but it's up there. But it's not the best. First of all, it's college. So, Zion is blocking a guy that probably is playing at his last level of basketball.
Right.
So it was impressive, though, but it's not the best.
I mean, he probably jumped 15 feet.
It was high, I don't know about 15. But
it was start to finish from starting point to landing point.
I'm glad you brought that up, though, because I wanted to ask Jamieson and you about that game last night where Louisville is up 23 points with 9 minutes to go. First of all, just from a gambling perspective, I'll start with you. When a team is, even if it's Duke, down 23. And by the way, Louisville's they're not a slouch. We're not talking about a Mountain West.
They're ranked.
They're like 16th in the country.
They're very capable.
So when a team that's ranked 16th in the country at home is up 23 points, regardless of whether it's the best team in the country they're playing or not, Can you imagine what the in-game odds were? Moneyline, Duke had to be 20-1.
It was much higher than that. I think it was closer to 80-1.
Wow. Was it that high?
I think it was 80-1.
Holy
it was extremely high. No, I had Louisville plus 7.5, so I feel good about that. But you look at
the game didn't go to overtime.
You look at those exactly. You look at those threes that Reddish made. Those NBA threes that Reddish made. I mean, Duke is an NBA team. Jones.
Well, I don't go that far.
Jones, Reddish, Barrett, and Williamson. They're all first-round picks next year.
They will be an NBA team, but I don't think right now they're an NBA team.
I'm just saying
they're really good, and I think Reddish doesn't get the claim he should get. He's very good. I think people talk about his motor not being all the way there. The guy can play. I don't really care about motor that much in college. Like, the guy can play. He's very skillful. The issue I have with a lot of college programs, and this will actually hit home, a lot of these schools don't have pure point guards. I don't need you to be able to cross people up and score 30 a night. I need you to be able to run offense, dribble the ball.
And create,
and actually get the ball past pressure. If you can't handle the ball with pressure, then you don't need to be playing on my team. If you're a point guard, if you're 6'2", and you're getting a scholarship to play the point at a school like Louisville, you better be able to handle token pressure. If you can't handle token pressure, then I have some problems.
Look at that kid on San Francisco.
He's good.
Ferrari?
He is a good point guard.
Christensen had 12 assists yesterday, though.
Mm-hmm. But again,
he played fine.
Man, look here. If you're a college point guard and you can't deal with a little bit of press, I can't trust you.
Especially in the big dance where they allow more hand checks. They allow more physical plays, which is why Michigan State goes so far every year, by the way. And just, we're going to go back to the Lakers. I think Lonzo Ball is the second most important part of that team right now.
No, you're absolutely right, because on both ends, because on defense, we know what he does on defense, but offensively, he keeps the ball moving. That's the thing they're having an issue with right now. The ball is sticking. It's Kuzma shooting. The ball is sticking, whether someone's going one-on-one or someone's creating a turnover. Lonzo Ball, even though the numbers aren't that great, the impact is huge for the way the team is built. They need him back sooner than later, and if he doesn't come back, they could be in some trouble.
They really could be. They could be a first-round exit if they even make the playoffs.
I also think all this trade talk in the last few weeks has not helped their chemistry either, and some of these guys, like a Lance Stevenson, are being accused of sort of tanking.
Well, I mean, Lance is on a one-year deal, so I don't think he's really worth up the trade. I think the trade more affected the young guys, and Lance been in the league almost 9 years now, so that's not really concerning about him. The young guys, like Kuzma benefits more from being in LA than any of the young players. Because remember, he wasn't a lottery pick. He was a late first rounder, kind of a late bloomer. We knew about him because he plays out here in the tournament. He's in the Pac-12. But he wasn't a guy that was supposed to be a star player. He was a late first rounder, happy to be there kind of guy. Next thing you know, he's averaging 16 as a rookie. He benefits a lot off the court for being in LA. His life changes if he gets traded. Ingram and Ball, they'll be okay. They're going to get their big money. But Kuzma is making $1 million a year. His whole life changes if he goes to New Orleans.
A lot of people around the Lakers organization are all saying the same tune when it comes to Luke Walton. They're all saying that his job is safe and everything is just fine, dandy. What do you see happening at the end of the year? Do you think he comes back next year?
So here's the thing. For all those who are out there, and this goes for people who have regular jobs as well, if the person who hired you is not there anymore, you're in trouble. Plain and simple. Whether you're doing your job right or not, if the person who hired you is no longer with the company or no longer in that decision-making capacity, you're in trouble. And Luke Walton was not hired by the current regime of Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka. He was hired by Buss's son and Mitch Kupchak. And with that being said, at the time, Luke was the #1 coaching candidate. So they didn't do a bad job of hiring him. However, if they have someone else in mind to get that job, they're going to take care of Luke. He'll get paid. He'll probably have a nice severance. And if he wants a job with the organization, they'll probably find it for him. But I think he'll get a job somewhere else. With that being said, if they want a new coach or they want to go in a different direction, they will do so.
Fair enough. Last Lakers question, then we'll move on to some other things all across the NBA. Story came out that apparently LeBron James is going to be leaving the country ahead of the NBA All-Star game to clear his head. Quote, those are his remarks. What do you think about that? I mean, this is a little unprecedented.
I didn't hear he was leaving the country, though.
Yeah, he claiming he is going to leave the country for a few days, go on a little mini vacation with his family to clear his head. What do you think about that?
It makes sense because, I mean, this year's kind of been weird. I mean, you're in a new city. A lot of things going on. He gets hurt for the first time. And also, they got the nice end of the schedule. Like, there's teams playing tomorrow. Usually the All-Star break, if you're off, your last game is Tuesday. You pretty much have Tuesday night to the following Tuesday for vacation if you're not in the game. So I understand he has like 3 days because he doesn't have to show up to Charlotte till Saturday morning. So he's fine.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I have zero problem with it. He has 3 kids, 2 of which are in high school. He wants to see some different things. He's also in a different time zone than what he's been in the past, which has an effect on your mental state as well. A 2-hour difference. So he's played in what 15 All-Star games? 14 All-Star games.
Yeah,
He's won the MVP in what 3?
Yeah,
2 or 3. Yeah, yep.
Quite a few.
Let him do what he wants.
So did you see this? That Anthony Davis scored 3 points the other night, and he's quoted as saying nobody looked interested in playing. What is going on out there?
Well, so here's a situation. The Pelicans are run like an NFL team. So whenever a guy has a trade demand in the NFL, the team laughs at you unless you're in the last year of your contract. They laugh at you. They don't do it. They don't move. Like they move on their pace. They also have NFL trainers, for the medical staff. Mickey Loomis is their GM, et cetera, et cetera. That whole situation should have been handled differently. In most NBA situations, that trade takes place. When the T-Wolves and Jimmy Butler had the same demand with the T-Wolves, they moved him. They didn't play any games. They, after he became a distraction, they moved him. Anthony Davis, it's like, hey, man, you guys played around with this situation. Now you create a totally different situation by not moving him. And now it's a situation where everyone's pretty much conceded this season. This season's over for them. They're not making the playoffs. They're a lottery team. And the sad part about them is they're not going anywhere. Their franchise is pretty much stuck because they're not bad enough to tank to get a top 3 pick, but they're not good enough to make the playoffs.
So
yeah, they're kind of middle of the road. I think it's just one step closer to the Pelicans landing in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Mm-hmm. I hope that does happen. I certainly hope it does. So a lot of trade talk, obviously, in regards to Kevin Durant or where he's going to be playing next year, I should say. And Reggie Miller made some comments about Kevin Durant, saying that Durant was too sensitive to play in New York. So I want to get your thoughts on that. But before I do, I know we had a caller who wanted to ask a question, but we couldn't take his call on the air. So let me go to Johnny. Johnny, what was the question? Can you share with us what the question was? Because I'm having trouble reading it on there. What exactly did he want to ask us? Monmouth? What about it? What was his question? Okay. All right. Jamieson, what are your thoughts on that?
I didn't hear. What was the question? I didn't hear.
King Rice, thoughts on Monmouth? What do you I guess he's the Monmouth head coach? You know anything?
Honestly, I don't know anything. I don't want to say anything about it. I don't know.
Okay. I don't either. I have no idea who that is. Is that the Northeast Conference?
Something like that, yeah.
That is.
Yeah.
They had a good player named Justin Robinson a couple of years ago who transferred to Duke. That's all I know.
The Northeast Conference, baby. Central Connecticut State University. Hard-hitting New Britain. That's right.
Miles Austin went to Monmouth.
He did.
In the NFL.
He did.
Wow. Not a lot of great players, though, out of the NEC Conference.
No, that's right.
You get a couple.
Yeah, a few. Who is the guy who... Keith Kloss came out of Central Connecticut, played some years for the Clippers, and then he got...
What was it, like 7'9"?
He got stabbed in some nightclub incident and never played in the NBA again.
He was the first viral incident that took place.
Yeah.
When he got beat up outside of a club, that was
viral.
Yeah, he played after that, though, but yeah, it was...
Not much.
I think with his hair, he was actually 8 feet tall.
He was very, very tall. So what do you think of Reggie Miller's comments? He thinks that Kevin Durant is too sensitive to play in New York. What do you say to that?
The Knicks haven't won anything since the 70s. If he goes there, he's gonna be all right. Now, with that being said, the media there is kind of rough, but man, they're gonna embrace him. They haven't had a star. He would instantly be the best player that's ever played for the Knicks. If he goes to the Knicks, he'll be the best player by far.
And I think he could average 40 a game if he wanted to. He's not going to, but I'm saying he could. He's good enough to.
New York, he don't have the mentality to do that, though.
New York, I agree. To do that. James Harden certainly does, but I would say Kevin.
You don't think a guy who stayed for 3 hours after a full contact practice?
He's got
during
work
the summer
ethic.
league. And played one-on-one against all-stars and destroyed them.
But
wants to score 40 a game.
So here's the thing: when it comes about scoring 40 a game, that has to be a mentality thing. You got to be a killer. As great as Kevin Durant is, and yes, he's had a lot of kill moments in the finals. He doesn't have that on a nightly basis. That's not his thing. He's more concerned about staying in the flow of the team, getting his 18 to 20 shots a night, being efficient more than scoring. Hey, I'm going to get 45 tonight. That's never really been his thing. He's more concerned about getting between 27 and 30 points a night, getting a few boards, getting a few assists, getting a W. Yeah. He's that guy. Now, Kyrie Irving, if he goes to the Knicks, he can mess around and score 30-plus a night. That's the guy. He's the kind of guy that would aim for 35 a night.
I don't think Kyrie's staying in Boston. So Blake Griffin always seems to be into trouble, getting into some sort of weird situation, right? If he's not beating up somebody on his staff, some uniform person or trainer or somebody. So apparently he walks into an L.A. restaurant last night or yesterday. And I guess the Pistons were in L.A. yesterday, my understanding, or was it the other day?
Other way around.
Was it the other way around. So he walks into a restaurant the other day with his dog. Now, I don't know why he's walking into a restaurant with his dog. His dog bites a customer And now the customer is filing a lawsuit against him. Blake Griffin in another weird situation. Now somebody is suing him. What do you make of Blake Griffin? Why does he always seem to get in these weird situations where something strange is going on?
He's a different guy, and he hates Detroit. He hates being in Detroit. He did not pick to be there. If you ever listen to the post game, obviously he's the best player on the team. So whenever he has a big game, which is almost every night, he's having a really good year, by the way. He's almost an all NBA type of year. But whenever he has like a great night, they always interview him after the game. He's never happy. Like he's thoroughly pissed off after every game.
He really is. After every game, he's like, "We need to play better. We need to do this."
This is the second major lawsuit against Griffin this year because I believe his ex-wife filed a pretty major lawsuit for him for child support.
So that's probably why he's not a happy guy. I mean, he's got some money. He's had some horrible relationships.
You're in Detroit now. And you owe maybe what did she ask for? $250,000 a month per kid, I think is what it was.
But he's making like 30
of course, he's making a ton.
Yeah.
Jeez. Here's something on a positive note. Okay, so Isaiah Thomas got a standing ovation tonight. I thought that was really cool. I don't know if you saw any of that, but he was in Denver tonight and back in uniform. I think Isaiah Thomas is a little bit misunderstood. I think some people don't get along with him for different reasons, but I don't think he's a bad dude. I don't think we'll ever see the same Isaiah Thomas we once saw when he was an all-star. I don't think we're going to see that again, but he's still a super talent, and I think if he's in the right situation and he's healthy, I think he could certainly help a team.
It's tough because in a playoff setting, you guys like that get exposed because teams are going to attack him until you got to sub him out. But in the regular season, it works because he can score, he can play against second units, he can run pick and roll and whatnot. But like you mentioned, the health part, whenever you have a hip issue, when you're missing like seasons off of it, that's tough to overcome.
Yeah. What do you think about the NBA saying, a lot of people were claiming that they were threatening to fine the Pelicans if they benched Anthony Davis. And now the NBA is saying that they didn't do that. What do you make of this story?
So here's the thing. You can't bench a guy that's healthy, especially if you're trying to tank. That's the thing. NBA is trying to get away from tanking as much as possible because you really can't stop tanking. But if you have a healthy star player that should be an all-star starter, but he's not this year, you can't just sit him because you don't want him getting hurt while you're trying to trade him in July. You can't do that. So I actually like what the NBA is doing. However, the Pelicans didn't think this through. This has been handled very sloppy by them. They're a team that you can tell they don't have their stuff in order up front, and they've never really had a real plan because Danny Ainge, we all know Danny Ainge, he's not offering all those picks and Jason Tatum for a guy that's a rental. He's not going to do that, especially what he did today. He accused Rich Paul and of spreading the Kyrie news of leaving. So and we all know who Anthony Davis' agent is, there's no way he's spending all those assets for Anthony Davis. It's not happening.
Yeah. Last quick point, and we only got about a minute to go here. Pau Gasol has been rumored that he asked to be traded from the Spurs, but then when he was asked about that today, he claimed that it was completely false. I don't believe that. I think he does want out.
He's at the end of his career, so it really doesn't matter. But he's a very nice, Powell's probably one of the nicest guys in the league. So if he did it, it was probably in a way of saying, hey, let me go to a different spot because maybe some of the young guys, need to play more. The Spurs have been trending down the last month. They've had a little rough spot. Don't be surprised if they miss the playoffs completely. They just don't have enough guys, and their best player is LaMarcus Aldridge. He's trending downward. He's older now.
Right.
Don't be surprised if they miss the playoffs completely.
All right. Well, we need some NBA action in Vegas. I know that. Yeah. We need an NBA team to come to Vegas, and I certainly hope that happens. Jamieson, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Always appreciate when you come in, and we'll catch up with you again next week. You are our hoops guru by far. See, you see, JD, how he answered all those questions? Like he's got that wealth of knowledge up there that we just don't have.
Next time,
rapid fire.
One of these days, I'm going to bring my guy Rodney Haddix, the coach at Finley Prep, up here.
I'd like that. Yeah, thank you for coming in.
Yep,
appreciate it, Jamieson. All right, JD, same time, same place.
Thank you, Jamieson.
Same time, same place tomorrow. Ken Thompson coming up next. Everybody, stay tuned for him, and thanks for joining us. Have a good night, everybody.